My name's James Reeves, and I've got your Big Mac right here, motherfucker. That's right, the Hi-Peasy 10mm Easy is in the Heezy on tfbtv.gun.team. I'm probably going to get a content strike for that one, but it was totally worth it. The big news today. Everyone's favorite ultra-reliable, ultra-budget brand. No, not you. There we go. Hi-Point is turning it up to an 11 with a 10. Obviously, I'm in a very good mood about this because, in my opinion, 10mm has obviated the need for 40 S&W and 45 ACP. Just as much capacity as 40, but more powerful than either caliber. More and more 10mm pistols coming to the market, including new models from SIG with the 320 10mm, Smith & Wesson with the M&P, the Gen 5 Glock 20, which just came out a couple weeks ago, and now Hi-Point joining the 10mm party. Now would I, James Reeves, go out personally and spend my hard-earned money on a Hi-Point? Unironically. You guys know the answer to that already. Probably not, but on the other hand, the reliability to dollar ratio of the Hi-Point brand is unparalleled. We've torture tested these things throughout the years, as have other YouTubers, and they've taken more abuse than Kanye West's reputation. A gun that 10 years ago I morally, philosophically, spiritually, and theologically despised has become one of my favorite brands. I really think it's a combination of the fact that Hi-Point's guns cost less than dinner with my wife, but at least I know I'm not getting screwed when I get home by my Hi-Point. Am I right? Just kidding. I've been married for over 10 years. It's not like that anymore. But Hi-Point has won over the gun community with its absolutely hideous budget pistols and the Midwestern American companies' great sense of humor with handling criticism of their products. If there's one thing you can't criticize, it's the reliability. For the longest time, the standard Hi-Point 9mm has been a single stack, low capacity, 8-round, 9mm made out of cheap, inexpensive plastic and alloy. Because the gun's a straight blowback, there's no mechanical device unlocking the barrel. It's inexpensive, but with no mechanical means of unlocking the action when firing, Hi-Points have to be big and heavy in order to properly delay the action's opening for the gun to function safely. You guys remember that, the Maraca test, right? The bigger the caliber, the bigger the slide needs to be. So you can imagine what a beast this 10mm is. According to my crack scale back here, it weighs 46 ounces unloaded. If it's 46 ounces, that's about a pound heavier than the Glock 20, which holds 15 rounds plus one in the chamber, but the Hi-Point is also less than half the price of the Glock. This model will be called the Hi-Point JXP 10, and it isn't out just yet, so don't pause the video and call your FFL if you haven't already. As I said, the JXP is a beast. I honestly believe this is the largest handgun I have ever held. But a bigger bag means more room for tricks, and the JXP has plenty of them. Right now, those of you Hi-Point enthusiasts out there, you distinguished cultured gentlemen who have access to a computer through the public library, may have seen our videos over the past couple of years about the impending Hi-Point YC9, the next generation of 9mm Hi-Points. The JXP will have pretty much all of the new features of the YC9, basically making it the YC10. So in a kind of up way, the YC10 and 10mm is coming out before the YC9. But it has all the YC9 features, including forward slide serrations and this recontoured slide that actually looks way better than the original slide profile. Not that that was really hard to beat. It'll come in your choice of either a 4.5-inch non-threaded or 5.2-inch threaded barrel. The threaded barrel will be cut in .578 by 28 thread pitch. It's got the new Hi-Point logo enhanced textured grips, a recontoured polymer frame with a 4-slot Picatinny rail under the dust cover, and replaceable sights, including a front sight that's compatible with Glock front sights. So if you want a tritium or fiber optic front sight, you do you, baby. 10mm. That's a lot of mils. 9 and 10.
It was always, they had lights in them.
There you go. It's hard to believe we've waited like, what, 2 or 3 years for the actual Yeet Cannon in 9mm to come out, and the 10mm version is coming out first. Or is it? I didn't say that. I didn't say that, did I? But let's not change the subject, boys. First inspection is going to yield varying and probably strong reactions about the YC10, I'll call it. I think it actually looks kind of cool, and to be honest, I like the heft and I like the weight of it for 10mm. Can you concealed carry it? Well, you can conceal carry anything if you're brave enough, my friend, but I would put this in the outer limits of possible, but straddling the line of completely unreasonable to conceal under your clothes. The sights, shockingly, not bad. I've definitely seen worse sights on more expensive pistols. They're contrasting orange rear and yellow front sights that are pretty easy to pick up. Like I said, change the front sight if you want to. The controls are still traditional Hi-Point, and at this juncture of the review, it shouldn't surprise you. When I say traditional Hi-Point means not quite like everything else. There's a last round hold open, but there's no slide release. You have to actually remove the empty magazine before the gun will unlock. Also, you can lock the slide open by flipping up the safety with the slide retracted. Speaking of safety, it does have the traditional Hi-Point bent piece of metal thumb safety that, funny enough, might still be more functional than, say, the safety on a Walther PPK. It uses a standard button magazine release. That's easy enough to manipulate. I won't go over field stripping because even though I own several Hi-Points, I'm ashamed to admit, frankly, I don't know how to do it, and the good news is you usually don't have to. In fact, I'm not even sure that these guns like to be treated well. The trigger is, of course, one of the main weaknesses of the Hi-Point, but it isn't the actual trigger press itself. I've felt worse trigger pulls on more expensive guns. Believe it or not, it's almost 10 pounds, but it feels a lot lighter than that, maybe because of how short it is. It's a little squishy, but it's acceptable. The actual trouble is that you can easily outrun this gun if you're shooting too fast. It's not obvious where the trigger resets, so if you don't let it out far enough, which is easy to do, then you'll expect a shot, but nothing will happen. You'll flinch like a bitch, and hundreds of thousands of people, hopefully, will see it here on the internet. But make no mistake, the recoil is not harsh in this machine. We used Fiocchi and Magtech 10mm. Both were fine to shoot, mainly because of the tremendous heft of the Yeet Cannon 10. I wouldn't personally describe the recoil as harsh at all, but I may think twice before you let your sister or like your 6-year-old shoot it. Now, on the other hand, if you want full power in the streets, but nice and easy in the sheets, believe it or not, you can shoot 40 S&W through this gun, although I'm not sure Hi-Point will tell you that's a good idea. We did it. Might blow my hand off, but we're going to try shooting some 40 S&W. A lot of people don't know this, but 40 S&W, aka 40 short and weak, that was just shortened 10mm, and actually 40 S&W will work in most 10mm handguns and revolvers. You're talking about the same bullet diameter, just a shorter casing. We're gonna see if it works in the Hi-Point. May God have mercy on our souls, watch over us and protect us as we shoot 40 through a 10mm. Oh. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's much lighter. Already the 10mm through this big hunk of a gun is not really that bad recoil-wise. It's just kind of shovey and clunky. That with 40, there's almost no recoil. It's actually pretty fun. Speaking of shooting, 7 yards, accuracy more than acceptable with semi-rapid fire. The combination of the trigger and the sights lead to accuracy, actually better than accuracy, shooting 3 magazines at a rate of fire rapid enough to outrun the trigger. I dare say that the accuracy might even be called good. Dude, it's like no recoil. It's just like really loud, really clunky. Clunk, clunk. Let's have a look at this. 7 yards, maybe a little over 7 yards. And I mean, that's like rapid fire 10mm. With, you know, the okay sights, they're not great. You know, they're Hi-Point sights. Hi-Point trigger. I don't think it gets much better than that. I think it's better than the test target. It might be. It might be. I'm just saying. The JXP, aka the Yeet Cannon 10, unofficially will be available in the next couple of weeks before SHOT Show because it's going to be officially launched at SHOT Show. MSRP is going to be about $225 or $25 more than a 45 ACP Hi-Point, but remember that the current version of the 45 caliber Hi-Point lacks the features of the Yeet Cannon that I went over earlier. So in my opinion, the $25 more is an easy $25 to spend. In any case, you're probably looking at a street price of $200 or less once the demand dies down, but you will have a Yeet Cannon of your own before all of your friends. And is that not worth $200? That's almost it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned at SHOT Show because we have an exclusive video on another new Hi-Point. I guess a new-ish Hi-Point that's definitely, finally coming to the market in 2023. Won't tell you what it is. Stay tuned. Make sure that you jump over to TFBTV Showtime, please God, because that's where all of our show coverage will be. Different channel than this one. It's a totally separate channel. Go over there, subscribe, because we're going to be uploading videos the same day we record them at SHOT Show 2023. That's all on TFBTV Showtime. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you guys in Vegas. I'll also see our sponsor, Ventura Munitions, in Las Vegas, because that's where they're based. Great guys. Grab a beer with them. Stop by their shop. It's not that far from the Strip. Seriously, totally worth your time. And not to mention Top Gun Supply, your online shooting sports superstore. Love those guys. Love you for watching. Thanks, guys. Take care.